You've been saying you feel like your guys thought they had more in them. Do you think they saw what they were hoping to see from themselves this weekend?
Yeah, sure. I think so. It's a good team that we played, and we were able to win today and get a couple more on the weekend to, beat a good team. So, yeah, I think that was probably good for our guys to be able to see that and see that we can win in a lot of different ways.
How important was it just for the pitching staff to have not just one game or two games or the full weekend that they had kind of put all together?
They were tremendous, all the way down to the last arm. Santiago Garcia comes in there and was just absolutely nasty, and Cole Stokes before that, and just being able to pass the baton. And we're trying to use our guys the best we can, and credit to Coach Hawk. It's you got guys with a lot of talent on the pitching staff and no experience really coming into the season, and that's hard. It's hard to watch for fans sometimes. It's hard to watch for the coaches. It's hard to be in their shoes when they're struggling. But Coach has been very patient with them, and he just continues to show up to work every day and develop them, and we saw the results of that. So I credit him.
I know you said last weekend that game 2 is not what you wanted against UCLA, and you wanted the fans to know that they deserved better. Just what can you say about the environment at PK Park throughout the entire weekend, and what role that played in your success?
Well, we had 3 sellouts, right? And I guess fans, I'll put it this way, the umpire yesterday, yesterday's umpire and, 2 of the different guys at different times this weekend said this is the most incredible environment that they've been in on the entire West Coast. And they both said it without either one of them being around each other. They just kind of said it on their own. And so if that's what the umpires are feeling, obviously the kids are feeling that as well, and so are the coaches, and the energy they're bringing to the field is tremendous. We're obviously we're earning some respect of our fans, which is great. We're trying. And we're going to have more home games coming up, and they're going to be big ones. I think we got one versus, a team from up the road, even higher up the road than these guys, that we're going to need this place packed and rocking when we get a chance to play them. So, the fans have been tremendous this weekend to have 3 sellouts, and we've had a lot of sellouts this year with UCLA and Michigan, the whole deal, and they're showing out for our team, which is really cool.
You said you guys need to see consistency. How big of a sample size do you need to see before you can say, okay, we're doing what we need to do on a consistent enough basis?
I don't know the answer to that. I think it's just game to game right now. Just, we saw it now one day in a row 3 times. And actually, our Tuesday midweek game, there were a lot of parts of that game where we played really, really well, and it was really disappointing to lose a game. But we didn't do enough to win it, and so there's no excuses there. That's on me. But, the more we go, we just go one day in a row, and if we can handle that, then we'll feel good about things.
Coach, you've talked to us a couple times about the importance of being able to win in different ways. What can you say about finding a way to win in a day where you struck out a lot offensively?
Well, we ran into a couple of balls, right? And so the strength that Daryl Hunter's helped us with in the weight room helps because the ball's going over the fence more than it ever has. So that's number 1. Number 2 is, I think, just being prepared to help our guys with the running game. I think the running game this weekend was a really big deal. We were able to do some things there that set us up for some key innings. Not all of them worked out, but we had ourselves set up for even more innings where we could have scored runs and multiple runs with just one more hit. And that's all you're trying to do is continue to pressure the defense, and I think we did that this weekend.
How big of an identity is that for you guys, your guys' ability to play small ball, bunt guys over, steal?
We just want to play good baseball. You can't win one way. You need to win a lot of ways, and when the pitching is as good on the other side as it is and was today, you can't just throw your hands in the air and say, well, we're going to lose because their pitching's good. You got to figure out a way to win, and we were able to do that. So I was proud of the guys. Just happy for the players that I get to represent.
After yesterday's win, you guys were saying that it still wasn't finished. After the rivalry win today and the weekend sweep, how does it feel to you and the team just getting this win out?
Good, and we get one more.
Yeah. Walsh had 3 strikeouts today, but he did have the big one that started off the offense and ended up being the run that you guys needed. What'd you like from him today?
Well, first and foremost, I like his leadership. He doesn't have the best day with the bat, and he's still able to contribute. He has a really good day over at first base with the glove again, and a lot of the plays he makes over there, it kind of get boring because it seems so easy. And those are hard plays. Picking balls out of the dirt is not easy. He makes it look very routine. He's got very good footwork around the bag. He's just a leader, and I'm just, I was tickled when he told me he was coming back to have him for his senior year. The kid is an awesome young man, just an awesome person, and to see him have success is really neat.
Back to that defense, Garrotti, Maloney, and Arrows on the left side of the field had it pretty locked down all game. What did you see from that?
Yeah, they were just ready to play. Tons of ground balls and some well-hit ground balls that, they challenged the infielders, and our guys stood up to the challenge on the well-hit balls and converted them into outs. That's not easy either, and they played really well. The defense was sensational today.
What did you see from Jason on the mound today?
He battled. He didn't have his best stuff, but he battled and he wanted to battle. He was like, I'm not coming out. He was adamant about not coming out. He'd shoot the one that he when they got one in the second inning after he was loose with his command and he limited it to only one. We were planning on taking him out in the third inning and putting in a fresh arm right there, and he flat out came up to me and said, "You're not taking me out of the game." And so for me, that's huge progress. I don't think he would have done that probably last year from what I heard. He came to me flat out and said, "Look, I want to stay in this game and you're not taking me out. I'm not ready to come out of this thing." And I was like, "Great, man, go get it," because we trust him and he's really good.
We've seen Maddox get on this type of hot streak before, specifically at Ohio State, where he's just crushing the ball. The 3 hits today, shoots one through the right side. How impressive has he been this weekend, especially against this pitching staff?
What about the best thing he did today? He had a couple RBI swings, which was awesome, but one of them plays that he made over in the 5-6 hole was just insane. That should be on SportsCenter. He played really well. He played really, really well, and I'm lucky to be able to coach that guy on a daily basis.
Going back just to Jason's mindset, do you feel like that's kind of the mindset of the whole team right now, that whatever it takes to win, that they're willing to do it? They don't want to come out. They want to have that opportunity that if things aren't going the way they want it, to improve it. And how important is that at this point in the season?
Good question. We teach it, but you'll have to ask the players that. I won't speak for them on that. We try to get that through to them, but, it'd be an interesting ask on the players.
Marquette leads off that 8th inning with a home run. You put in Cole Stokes, who's had kind of this up and down season. How important do you feel like that was to his confidence moving forward here, where you guys are going to need him to go out there and strike out 2 and get out of that inning unscathed?
Well, yes, Cole's really good. He's going to be a major leaguer, and so to trust a guy that's going to pitch in the big leagues, despite the fact that at some points he's had not awesome times in the season, that kind of describes every player we have and every pitcher we have. And I bet Tony at Tennessee or Jay at LSU says the same thing. I watched them last 2 days, and they got All-Americans that are struggling, and it's not about when you struggle, it's about what you do with it after you struggle. And so those guys are friends of mine. I know they've got guys in their own program that get in their own way. Everybody does. And so it's not about when you struggle, because they're all going to struggle at times. These guys are facing really good arms when they're trying to hit, and they're getting really good hitters. They got to get really good hitters out too. And so really the true test of a man's character at the level is, what do you do when you fail? Because they're all going to fail. And you're starting to see guys grow after they've failed, and that's the one thing that I think that we're going to point to and continue to try to grow.
Going back to Maloney, he had a strong start of the season, strong past 2 games. How have you seen him grow throughout the season?
Well, physically, he's really put together physically. He's only a sophomore, and so, he gets a chance to be back in college for another year. But his mentality is the biggest thing. He's seeing now that not only are they saying he's one of the best players in college baseball, but he feels it too. And I think you can see that in just how he walks around now.